everybody. I'm Miles. I'm the universe. And today I wanted to talk about blame. Our lives, day to day, we are extremely susceptible to pain and issue and problem and suffering. We live our lives day to day, and no matter what, problems arise, okay? Suffering arises. And oftentimes, that suffering brings about a sense of unease. And unease is a difficult emotion to sit with. We turn unease into rejection or resentment or just more pain. When an animal is in pain, like a cat or something, you step on a cat's tail, it scratches you, doesn't it? The cat blames you for its pain, which in that instance, is fair enough. As an example, when something affects us, we lash out. You've disrespected my harmony, my balance, who I am. You've disrespected that and hurt it, situation, problem, or thing, and I return back the pain. With the understanding then that when we're issued an issue and we return the issue with more pain, we can sort of start to begin to understand what karma is. Karma isn't, necessarily like the idea that, that person did me wrong, so hopefully one day their cat will die or something, or hopefully one day they will receive as much pain as they give to me. And that's karma. In a lot of people's minds and ideas, karma is a bitch, apparently. My personal understanding of karma is more the idea that karma is less of an event, or like, why do bad things happen to good people and stuff like that. Bad things happen to everybody, Bad things happen to good people. It's not that they have bad karma necessarily. You get to choose your karma. That someone who has done bad things lives in bad karma. Then when they do things, naturally they leak bad intentions into their surroundings, and then there's like a ripple effect and a trickle down. You were rude to somebody at work, they go home and tell their partner gets sad, then they don't sleep very well because they're worried about their partner, then they have a bad day at work, and then they lose their job, all because you were rude to one person. Someone 50 miles away has lost their job. It's like a trickle down effect. Just because you was rude and you was having a bad day, your bad karma is the fact that you don't even realize the negative effect you've had on the world. Just because you were having a bad day, you suffered, and you let your suffering rule you. Okay? When it comes to blame, then, blame is a big element of our personal suffering. Okay? When we feel pain and we direct that pain at somebody else, we're really hurting ourselves. Ultimately, we're choosing to continue a negative, painful pathway. We're choosing to do that. We're choosing our karma in every moment. If you think as well, have you heard? You might have heard of the term generational trauma, which is problems that you're facing that probably your great 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 grandparent were suffering, and the way that they affected their children, affected their children, affected their children, affected their children, affected their children. And we live in a world dictated to us by a realm far beyond, far separated from us by time. But yet all of that history has led us to this very moment. With that in mind, you have to understand that, like, when we're ruled by our emotions, which 99.999% of us are, like, you don't have to feel bad for being ruled by your emotions. Unless we're taught how to not do it, we tend to suffer our emotions. Yeah. So if with this in mind, then things that happened even millions of years ago are still affecting us now, karmically rippling throughout space and time to this moment. Therefore, when we understand that people are suffering, okay, everybody, you, me, your dog, that ant, that worm, all right? When we understand that people universally are suffering and they're in pain and they lash out like a cat does when it's in pain. We lash out when we're in pain and we blame somebody else. When we understand that we're all suffering without realizing, we understand that people are no longer to blame, okay? They're suffering the consequences of their past, of their emotions, of someone else's emotions, of somebody else's emotions. All of that stuff isn't really their doing, their problem, their pain. And it wasn't the person before theirs problem, and it wasn't the person before theirs problem. Yeah? Understanding this, we are no longer to blame for our actions, okay? It's not to say we're not accountable. It's not to say we have a get out of jail free card and we can do bad stuff because we're bad people and because someone did bad to us, so we must do bad. Now, you're understanding that we have a choice to stop letting these negative things dictate our lives. That's tough, because we all have things that people have hurt us. We all think that person does, oh, why did they do that? And then you blame them, okay? We understand that suffering is universal. Therefore, we understand that forgiveness can be a blanket universal thing. We forgive everybody universally for the most evil and atrocious things. We forgive them, right? Because they're no longer to blame. They're acting out of pain. Why then should we choose to forgive? Okay? Even though we understand that someone's suffering and blah blah blah, we still want to lash out. The problem with blame and choosing not to forgive somebody is it keeps you personally stuck to that pain. The more negative strings we have attaching us to a problem, the harder it is for us to feel positive, feel good, grow. We've got so much stuff holding us back. And because we feel pain, we blame the pain, and it just becomes like a flipping gravitational ball of just like so much pain and suffering that we just can't break free. Okay, we're condensed into pain. Forgiveness, forgiving the situation for the suffering that's caused you, is immediately like you're just giving yourself some space. You just let yourself detach from just a bit of pain. By forgiving somebody for their transgressions, you instantaneously let go of just a little bit of pain. And then you continue to practice forgiveness. You just let go of more and more and more and more pain. And if you like, my couple of videos, I think it was last video, we learn to love ourselves. The importance of that, learning to love yourself is learning to forgive yourself for acting out poorly and forgiving others, okay? You don't need to know and understand why someone has done the things that they've done. You don't need to know that. You need to understand that it's a universal truth that people act out of pain. And their pain isn't necessarily their fault, all right? And even if it is their fault, it still doesn't mean that they're to blame. Even apathy and ignorance isn't necessarily a reason to blame somebody, okay? If they choose to continue in their pain, then they're already feeling they're choosing not to let go of pain. That is painful. You don't want to be angry at somebody for being apathetic and not caring about pain. If they want to live in pain, they're welcome to do that. Okay, that's their problem. You still want to love them. You still want to care about them, regardless, because you love yourself. Yeah. Forgiveness is difficult. It's really, really difficult to learn and to understand. It's also one of the most powerful things we need to do as a race of people. Learn to forgive. Learning to forgive is an important step, an important part of your journey. Okay, your journey to personal happiness. A good foundation is forgiveness. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. I'm enjoying this. I'm really enjoying this. Doing this YouTube stuff, like, properly am. So, if you like, and loads of people are liking. I've even had a few new subscribers already. Like, flipping out. It's wicked stuff. And yeah, so if you're watching this, please comment, and subscribe and like and whatever. Anyway, namaste.